So what was the effect of this global atheistic persecution? How permanent was it in its consequences? In most of the countries that were controlled by communism, the Christian population shrunk quite dramatically through the communist period. For example, in Russia was almost exclusively Christian in 1917. And later, 100 years later, for example, they reckoned that the Christian population was less than 10%. And this seems to be quite consistent, even over Eastern Europe as well. So the persecution tactic, you could say, was quite successful. In some countries, such as North Korea, the anti-religious campaign was so thorough that it virtually scoured all Christians from normal life. And they have a system there where even Christian relatives are punished to the 4th generation. It was incredibly thorough. I remember hearing a story from a defector, and as a young girl, she noticed her parents taking out a small book, and they would read it, and then they would take the book and they would poke it deep into the sofa with a knitting needle to hide it. And at school one day, the teacher said, "Let's play a trick. If you find that your parents have any hidden books, why don't you bring them in and we'll have some fun?" So she, as a child, thought this was harmless, and so she dug out this tiny book from the sofa and she brought it to school. And she said, "I never saw my parents again. I was met at the school that day by 2 men who told me I had been reassigned to a more suitable family." And that's a kind of testimony to the thoroughness of the campaign to eradicate religion in some of these communist states. So the question always is, how much trouble do you want to be in on a daily basis? Christians under communism were faced with a choice. Convert to our way of seeing things and doing things, and your life will be bearable. Refuse, and you will always be on the outside of this society. How are you going to choose? Are you going to conform to your oppressor and negate your faith in order to have a life, or keep it so quiet that you never witness? Or rebel for the sake of the gospel and accept that you are going to lose everything else? And as we said, the cleverest element of this was you make the Christian choose when they have the most to lose, when they are young. And as I say, we're still seeing this in practice today, as the world's most populous country, China, becomes more communist again with the rise of the current president, Xi Jinping.